How was the locker room in the WWA?
It was really neat. It was almost like a homecoming in some respects because I was seeing a lot of old WCW people, people I hadn't seen in a while, guys like Glenn Gilberti and Ernest the Cat Miller was at the Las Vegas show, and trying to think who else. All these people who I should be naming right now that I can't think of, but Norman Smiley,
Rick Steiner.
Yeah, I really didn't know Rick all that well from WCW, but anybody who was on the Saturday night show, I spent some time with socially and got to be friends with, and well, in the case of Norman, I worked with him on the Saturday night show, so that was really nice getting to see him again. But it's just all these old familiar faces, and then some newer faces too. I met AJ, but I didn't know him that well. Now I know him pretty well now, and Chris Daniels I bumped into a couple of times. We were both on the Super 8 show in 2000, and so it was neat seeing him. And Mama Luke I got to know real well from WCW. So it was just.
What's he doing nowadays? Is he still wrestling at all?
From what I gather, he still does independent dates, as far as I know. I haven't spoken to him in a long time.
I haven't heard nothing about him in a while.
Yeah, I don't know.
How was the locker room in WCW?
I thought it was fine. I mean, I was just thrilled to be there. I mean, I'd only been wrestling in front of a crowd for like 2.5 years when I signed a deal with them. So, I wasn't real involved in the politics and the political struggle and all that sort of thing. I mean, I didn't have enough stroke to be involved if I wanted to. But, a lot of people would ask me that question, what was it like? What was it like being backstage with a guy like Kevin Nash? Kevin Nash was always really cool to me. So, I'm just in the unique situation of having a character that people either love or hate, and I guess a personality that's the same way outside of the character. And, I got along with guys like Kevin, and, I really enjoyed my time when I was in WCW.
Was there anybody there that gave you a problem at all, or?
Not really personally. I wouldn't say there was anybody that personally gave me a problem. Certain people, like I said, weren't as supportive of the character. So, but that's that's how it's going to be anywhere you go.
And the WWA, how was that European tour?
It was a lot of fun. Really, really good time. Had a good time, just screwing around, on the road with Conan and Sabu and Disco and guys like that. It was just such a thrill.
And you ever think that WWA will come back?
I hope so. I mean, I really can't speculate.
And then you wrestled in XPW?
Mm-hmm.
How'd you get in there? Who contacted who?
I believe I probably contacted them first and never really heard back from them, but then at some point they aggressively sought me out via email and asked me if I would be interested in coming to one of their Philadelphia events. And of course I was definitely interested because I was really starting to hear things about the company and how they started out in LA and were attempting to take over Philadelphia, and just all this exciting stuff was going on. So I was really thrilled to have that opportunity. And I'd never got to really perform in front of an ECW crowd before. And there was the ECW arena, which is where they were running, was full of these Philadelphia wrestling fans, and I always wondered how they would take the Shark Boy. And the reaction was just so huge the first night I worked there. So
yeah, WCW had a pretty good following too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, why do you think they cut you loose?
Well, they caught everybody eventually, and then broke the company down and sold it. I mean, I don't think it was a personal issue. One by one, people were, getting chopped. So it just my time came, sooner than some and later than others. So.
And when you're in XPW, how was Shane Douglas as a booker?
Oh, it was great. Shane was great. He actually was one of the first guys to have me take the character, and most of the time when you see Shark Boy, you don't hear me talk at all. Shane had me doing these really serious interviews and ECW style drama, and just a lot of fun to work with Shane on that. And he had a lot of great booking ideas in terms of, knowing the matches that I could win and the matches that I could lose and not really lose anything from it. And whereas a lot of times the way the character is booked in certain companies, it's kind of, it's not necessarily that way. But I think with Shane at the helm, it really was, really was good for the character. And it really, the fans supported me so much in XPW. It was really neat.
How was Rob Black?
Rob was always, very good to me, very professional. Can't complain there.
You tagged up with Angel and you guys wrestled Tracy Smothers and Chris Hammer.
Mm-hmm.
How was that?
Tremendous. I had a lot of fun with Angel as a tag team partner. Of course, he played the homosexual character, and Shark Boy, it was my idea to play the homophobic character. So every time Angel would get behind me, I'd be a little worried about it, and we just played off each other's characters, and it was really strange because how often do you see a guy with a mask like just being the straight man in a tag team? But I was, at the time it was sort of like the Booker T Goldust tag team, where he was playing the part of Goldust and I would sort of be in the Booker T, and it was a lot of fun.
What did you think of that angle where Smothers and Hamrick were going to cut off Angel's penis with the shears?
Yeah, that's right. I'd almost forgotten.
That was right after that Messiah got attacked?
Yeah, well, the
Did you think that was in bad taste, or?
If I stopped working for every company I thought did things in bad taste, I'd probably retire. I mean,
Did anybody kind of like wince or anything about that? 'Cause
I really didn't take a whole lot of heat for that, a whole lot of flack for that. I think everybody knows that was something personal between Rob and the Messiah. So.
Did he ever talk about that at all, or no?
Rob?
Yeah.
I never brought it up.
You ever think that XPW will ever come back either?
I doubt it. I don't know. Again, the more places for the guys to work, the better. So I hope so. But
I talked to Hamrick, and he still talks to him. He says he doubts it.
Yeah.
He said he lost a fortune on that place.
Yeah.
So you wrestled Chaos too while you were in XPW. How was wrestling matching with him?
He's very charismatic, very original wrestler. Definitely got a lot of things going for him. I enjoyed the match.
And you worked a couple of tryout matches for the WWE.
Mm-hmm.
And how did you get contact with them? Or did they contact you?
Actually, the whole thing came from one of my good friends when I was in WCW was Shane Helms, of course, the Hurricane, and I knew they were coming to town this particular weekend, and I didn't have a booking that weekend, so I told them they were coming to Dayton, Ohio, which is near where I'm from, and I said, it's going to be a date, maybe we could get together and do lunch or something. And he actually invited me backstage to the show. It was a house show. So I went and, had a good time. Terry Taylor was running things at the time, backstage at the house show. And Terry, again, was another friend I made in WCW, a guy who was really supportive of me. And so Terry invited me backstage. It was one of the first times that I actually really felt, welcome backstage at a WWE show. And because I'd never really worked with the company. So everybody was very friendly. Got to meet, Triple H and Ric Flair and guys like that for the first time. And actually, I'd met Flair one time previous, but Triple H and several others I'd met for the first time. And Shane asked me, "What are you doing Monday? Can you come up to Cleveland for Raw?" I said, right place, right time. You never know what can happen. And I said, "Yeah,